Ooh, crispy. Um, we're back with review. Another review. This time we're on The Boys, season 5. Season 5. There we go. Not great. Not great at all, bro. That was... I'm not going to call it a dumpster fire, but it wasn't... It's kind of hard to explain. It's teetering from mid to trash. You know what I mean? Like, it's in that ballpark of, like, extremely mid to, like, kind of teetering to, like, very trash. You know what I mean? Like, it's in that weird Twilight gray zone. Dare I say it's kind of like the Stranger Things finale, where it's teetering that, like, weird gray zone of kind of mid to, like, kind of trash, and it's, like, in that weird period. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I'm noticing the pattern here. I don't know what's going on, but when it comes to, like, modern TV shows, and just media in general, they don't know how to stick the landing. Like, I could, give grace to people or TV shows like, you have, like, this long build-up, good show, and people are expecting high things from you, then, like, you just drop an okay ending, like, a decent ending, but people don't really like it, because, like, how much hype has around it. Kind of like Attack on Titan. Like, Attack on Titan, great story overall, but people weren't really happy about the ending. They call that ending mid to trash, when it actually wasn't. It was a pretty decent ending. This, however, is not the case. This is the case of a TV show having a decent run and slowly falling off and then just falling flat on their face. And with The Boys season 5, that's exactly what happened. Because season 3 was probably the peak of it, but the way season 3 ended, it was kind of as if they wanted to keep pushing forward, like, we need more episodes, we need more seasons, right? Because they could have ended on season 3. You got Soldier Boy, you got powers, you could actually, take a Homelander with this beam, and they're like, no, we can't do that. We gotta save Ryan. So now, Homelander and, what's his face? No, not even that. Maeve is fighting Homelander, while everyone else is fighting Soldier Boy. It's like, what? What are we doing, bro? Like, Soldier Boy, Homelander was right there. We could have won. Whatever. When we get season 4 was okay. It was cool. Ending was kind of meh as well. Kind of cool. Then season 5 was just a tank fall. It's just... I think the issue with season 5 is there was so much untouched that they didn't touch upon. And deaths that did happen were just like, bro, what? You feel me? For example, right? We'll take Frenchie. Frenchie's death. Frenchie dies, alright? That's sad. He sacrificed himself for Kimiko. Kimiko now gets the laser beam in her chest. It's like, dang, bro, that's pretty insane. But he sacrificed himself so he could get that second chance to beat Homelander. So that's like, okay, now there's some kind of stakes. Like, people can die. We realize that in the show, kind of. Then when we get to the finale, they're fighting Homelander, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my god, I don't have the rage to kill Homelander. I need rage to use the laser beam. And then Frenchie comes in as a spirit ghost, like, hey, you don't need rage. All you need is passion and love. And then she Yuta beams him. Homelander loses his powers. It's like, word? Like, there was no need to have that moment for Kimiko. You know what I mean? There was no need for her to, like, have that doubting phase to make it more dramatic. Just beam the dude. Just beam him. He's right there. Made no sense. Then on top of that, I think the worst thing about this season was Gen V was a complete waste of time. Gen V was a waste of a TV show, and you're not getting that time back. We got 2 seasons, cool concepts, cool characters, and then on top of that, we got Gen V hyping up Marie to be that, maybe a trump card against Homelander. You know what I mean? She could manipulate blood and whatnot, maybe manipulate the compound V in people. Like, she could feel that compound V inside of somebody, right? Hyping her up. Then there are people saying, like, oh my god, you took, like, laser beam from Homelander. That's pretty impressive. You're pretty strong. And then season 2 is like them, like, really powering her up too. Like, she has, like, a healing factor, can heal others. Marie is going crazy. Then Marie gets, like, 2 scenes. 2 episodes, 2 scenes, and The Boys. Our first episode in the scene, it's Annie's saying, listen, you can't control your powers. You're not ready to like join this fight. You know what I mean? Just stay low, keep freeing people, keep doing that. And you're like, word? That's what we doing, bro? Like, we have strong characters. We also have freaking... Is her name Vi? Or their name Vi? Let's double check, shall we? Let's double check the names for the characters from the compound. Or Gen V. Cast. Okay, Kate, Emma, Jordan. Okay, Kate, Emma, Jordan. And Sam. Okay, thank you. So we got powerhouses. Kate, touch, mind control powers or whatnot. Emma, shrink grow. Sam, just like a powerhouse tank. Then Marie just could do whatever. And mind you, and then I'm Jordan too. Body shifting. Tangent. They never fully explained Jordan's powers, and that kind of annoyed me, bro. Like, what do they do? Like, I know they shift between genders, and they get like a shield energy push. I wish it would have explained their powers just instead of them just, keeping it ambiguous for no reason. That made no sense to me. Regardless, all powerful characters could have been great in the final battle against Homelander. They told them in the final episode, hey, listen, you're going to Canada to save these Starlighters, okay? That's it. That's your goal. That was it. Mind you, people were like hyping her up saying she was the key to beating Homelander. She was not the key, bro. She did nothing except drop people around. We didn't even see her do that. A waste of time. Then the final battle between Homelander and Butcher and Kimiko was mid. Ryan flew in the last second, kind of helped out, and it wasn't a great fight. There was only one highlight of this episode, and that's freaking Homelander being a little bitch at the end of the series, bro. Like that was perfect, bro. Like him going on his knees. Oh my. Dude really was like, listen, I'll suck your dick if you let me live, please. I'll do anything. I'm like, bro, what? It was just, I had to pause the show. I was laughing, bro. It was about time we saw Homelander for what he actually is. Because like without that power, bro, you're nothing. You're a bum. You're a bot. You're a loser. And it was great to see. I love that scene. That almost made up for it, but it didn't. Like that was a shining nugget in a pile of trash. I'm not gonna say doo-doo, but like trash, okay? That one decent nugget, like, oh, that's kind of nice, but everything else just garbage, garbage. And then, oh my god, tell me why we got people on the internet being upset how Homelander went out saying, oh my god, Homelander lost so much ore, he's supposed to be like this strong dude, he should have been out, even though he lost his powers, he should have, stood proud and strong because he's Homelander, bro. Why are they trying to emasculate Homelander? I'm like, bro, were we watching the same show? Because I really feel like when it comes to Homelander, this is like not even Homelander, just with these alpha sigma male characters, people like gravitate towards them even though like they're not supposed to be so supposed to feel represented by. We have people like, this happens a lot. There was a whole trend of American Psycho. People were like hyping him like, oh my god, he's so cool, sigma dope. Like, no, God, you're not supposed to feel like you see yourself through that guy. That's the wrong message. Same thing happened with Joker too. Or Joker, I mean. Homelander. Even with a Wall Street, too, they were like, people were like, what if someone looking for? Feel like they see themselves in that guy, too. I'm like, bro, y'all missing the point. These are not guys supposed to feel like you see yourselves in. That's not the point. That's not the point. You know what I mean? I digress, though. It's just funny to see people online feeling like they mischaracterized Homelander when he did that. And that's not the case. This is exactly how Homelander was supposed to be. You feel me? Any whoosies. Point was, that was a great scene. Homelander dying was great. Butcher and Huey having their fight and Huey killing Butcher makes sense. I get it. Butcher out of pocket, had to take him out. That's not. I don't really have a huge gripe with that. That made sense, and I think they did it a lot better in the TV show than in the comic. Because in the comic books, they just had Butcher go like completely AWOL. He like killed the boys' team, and then to force Huey to kill him. And it was just retarded, bro. That made no sense. This made a lot more sense. He still had the virus. He was going to kill the soups. He died him, so he wasn't going to pull the trigger. Then he was shot before he could, stop it. But it was like, it worked out then because Butcher was kind of crazy. Whatever. We get it. But, that was decent. But it's just, we wanted more. They're going to do more with Gen V. This final battle should have been a bit more grander. A bit more grander? More grand? Yeah. The final battle should have been more grand. It's just, I wanted more, and I feel like people wanted more as well. The ideal situation would have been the Gen V people come in to help in the fight. Homeland has more troops to help out in the fight too, so it's like kind of like a all-out brawl in the White House. That would have been cool to see. The Gen V people actually show up, help in the fight. Would have been dope. And still we get like a 1v3 against Homelander. And he's fighting the Deep. And it's just, what, bro? This should have been like an all-out battle in the White House. Whooping gas would have been fresh. Throw a bunch of soups. Who off the band were good, you know what I mean? But they didn't do that. It's just wasted potential. I should say wasted Megumi, bro. Actually, I'm putting in the comments, bro. That's gonna be the comment for the video. This show had wasted Megumi, and if you know, you know, bro. That's gonna be hilarious. I'm posting that. But yeah, it's just I wanted more, and it just fumbled. It really just fumbled. Now, on to bigger things. People are comparing this to Game of Thrones ending, and when people say that, I shake my head. Because nothing's going to compare to the fumble and the hard fall of which Game of Thrones is. Because at least in this final season, characters kind of felt like themselves. The plot kind of made sense. Like, okay, I kind of see this. It just felt rushed. We wanted more time. Who opt the band? Whatever. With Game of Thrones, they cut the season in half practically. Because like, most seasons, let's double check this. Most seasons of Game of Thrones like what, 10 to 12 episodes? It's not to have like a quarter out. I didn't transition. Let's see. Can I? Game of Thrones. Episode guide. So season 1, 10 episodes. Season 2, 10. I think it's just going to be consistently 10, correct? 10, 4, 10, 10, 6, 10. Battle Bats was so cool. 7. Yeah, season 7 was 7 episodes. Kind of wild. Season 8 was 6. Oh my god, bro. Hate these seasons, bro. So ass. So, what I'm saying is, we lost 4 episodes with Game of Thrones. That's 4 hours of content gone. Just out the window. Just out the ether. And in those 6 episodes, they rushed points. The short characters and their ways of thinking of what. Like, Tyrion was that, Tyrion was not season 2 Tyrion. They were not the same character at all, bro. Like, man was a fumbling fool and idiot. Like, he was not the strategist and big brain we think he was. You know what I mean? Daenerys, you want to go with the Mad Queen angle? Fine. I'm cool with that. That was not built up upon decently in this season. There might have been hints, maybe that like, her, like, you know, hanging the slave masters and whatnot, burning the witch through season 1. Like, she had like her little moments and whatnot. But her destroying a whole kingdom out of fury, out of character. That was not built upon. That was like a switch. That wasn't like, you know, a gradual cooking up. That was not it at all. That did not happen. Holy mischaracterization with her. No good setup. And that could have been done in 4 episodes. They could have done that. Those extra 4 episodes, they could have built her up so slowly going insane to become the Mad Queen. And then at that point, okay, you want John to kill her, fine, whatever. Cool. If that's the point, great. They didn't do that. Game of Thrones stumbled on so many levels. And it's such a huge fall for grace from like what we first started off with to what we ended on. The Boys, it was like, we had 5 seasons of investment, cool. And out of those 5, 1 mid-season and like the final season was kind of bad. It's overall not that bad. You're going to call The Boys. It's a decent TV show. You'll be like, oh, it's decent. With Game of Thrones, it's also gonna be like, oh, it was gas, but the ending trash. And people always say, hey, watch Game of Thrones. However, you're going to hate the ending. That's all the time with The Boys. People be like, yeah, you can watch The Boys. It's not a bad watch. You know, the final season's going to be kind of mid, but it's not a bad watch. People will be more graceful towards The Boys and even like a Stranger Things than they are to Game of Thrones when it comes to how bad the ending was. And no show is ever going to compare to that. I don't think. Hopefully not. Like so far, Game of Thrones been over since like what? 2021? 2020? Season 8 happened in... ...2019 is when Game of Thrones Season 8 came out. Okay. Yeah, that show came out in 2019. People are still talking about it. I don't know, bro. Just... doesn't compare to Game of Thrones. Don't look bad, but it still was just a bad ending, unfortunately. And I was expecting more from The Boys. And then, I almost forgot. What blows my mind even more is that they're going to make a prequel show of Soldier Boy and his crew called Vault Rising. And I'm like, word? We're getting a Soldier Boy TV show spinoff? That's what we're doing right now? It's just, why? Why do that? That makes no sense. Why not get another season of Gen V? That seems interesting, you know, like, I don't know what they're going to do now that's Homelander Z or whatnot, but, you know, we saw that Hero War, like, let's see, like, the ripple effects of, you know, Stan getting Vault back and whatnot, the Boys doing their own thing, the government giving, like, their own special force to take care of, you know, bad soups or whatnot, like, let's see the ripple effects of the season afterwards, like, that Gen V could have been that spin-off part 2 show of The Boys, people would have watched it, you know, but still getting a prequel series of Soldier Boy, and we don't need that. He's a racist bum, and that's really it. I feel like people... like, just because we get some context to his character, doesn't mean, like, he needs, like, a full TV show about him. We get his whole arc. We saw it through Noir's flashbacks and whatnot. We know the character he is, bro. Like, yeah, he might have, like, a bad past, but man still killed, like, Eminem's dad, bro, and didn't care about it. Like, he is a racist dude. He's not a good person. And, like, the point of Season 3 was, we know he's not a good person, but we need him right now because of what he can do against Homelander. Why would we need his backstory? Why would we see like him in his heyday, you know, in this racist era? It makes no sense. We don't need that, you know? It's like people saying they want like a spin-off movie of Remick from Sinners. And it's like, why would we need a Sinners prequel of Remick? You know what I mean? It's just, he was a vampire dude. That was it. That was kind of it, bro. There's no need to dive further into his character. Like, if anything... no, that's not I don't want to say like anything. That was like a tangent I wanted. It's like... no, because Cruella was kind of cool. But it was like a spin-off fresh thing, though. The point I'm trying to make is... villains are cool, but there's no need to always humanize the villains and give them more context or backstory. Sometimes people are just evil to be evil. Might get sprinkles of their evilness or why they became evil, but we don't need like a full-on backstory of them. Like, we got through our introduction of the character, we got what we needed from them in that movie or that media. You know what I mean? Like, yes, some characters can hold their weight on their own. Like getting like a Joker backstory, cool, makes sense. And the Joker movie by itself, even though it's like its own spin-off, like that was a cool idea. But to always give villains their own little thing, there's no need for that. That's like... it was a good one. I'm trying to think of Disney. I want to say Scar. Like, let's give Scar... that's like them giving Scar like his own movie. Like, we don't need to give Scar his own movie. That makes no sense. They made a Mufasa movie that was kind of like a Scar-adjacent backstory, but even still, like, we don't need to always give villains context, you know, humanize them. There's no need for that. There's no need. But, yeah, bro, that's it for this little rant. Point is, The Boys, Season 5, not that great. Wanted more, didn't get more. Wasted Gen V characters. And, yeah, that's it. That is it. Do I recommend watching it? If you have free time, I guess. But, you know, there's other things to watch at this point, bro. Other things to watch. But, I'm done yapping. That's it for the video. Y'all be easy, okay?